The answer is yes. A Sufi needs a spiritual guide or a Shaykh to walk the mystical path. Without a doubt, yes. Without any teacher, that's not the Sufi way. Why is this? It's because the Sufi is looking for Allah. What does Sufi mean? Sufi essentially, the true definition is someone who has reached ego, death and immortality, fana and baka. But we can make it more contemporary. A Sufi is a disciple on the Sufi path, a murid. Okay? So the Sufi path, the tariqah, is leading to Allah. So the Sufi is never looking for himself. The Sufi is looking for Allah. What's the difference in having a path that leads to Allah and a path that leads to yourself? You don't need a path to reach yourself. Yourself, the nafs, the mind, that's where you are right now. No growth. No growth. You're happy where you are now. You're blissful. You have no stress. You're infinite knowledge. You say no. You see, you feel pain. You feel this. You have a void. You want something more. Okay, you want something more, then you're traveling towards Allah. This is it. Allah is the infinite light inside of you with limitless growth, limitless knowledge, no ending to the path. So this is where the Sufi is traveling. So the Sufi is not really spirituality, is more mysticism. Mysticism is a Greek word. It comes from mystikos, meaning hidden or secret. Yes, the Sufi way is hidden. So when you take initiation with a spiritual guide who has a lineage, unbroken lineage to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which means that it's essentially the spirit of Prophet that is guiding you, that is a hidden path. What does it mean? It means that you don't know how the path works until you have walked it. So there is a test of your faith. That's why you need tremendous amounts of iman, faith, true faith and trust in your heart. This inner drive that makes you believe in a good tomorrow, even if you are insecure. You take a leap of faith, believe in the unseen. That true faith, you need tremendous of that before you can join the Sufi path, because you don't know how the path works before later on the path. So all of these sort of teachings and conditions, like for example Tariqa Tijaniya, you can only do the Tijani wird. You cannot mix it with any other wird. Then you benefit from none of the wird. This teaching, you don't know how that works until later on the path. So it requires a tremendous amount of faith in you. So that way it's hidden, and anything that is hidden requires faith. Mystikos, and mystic also comes from the Greek word mystes, which means initiate, and a Sufi is an initiate. You are not a Sufi until you're an initiate. And when I say Sufi, I mean murid. I don't mean really, a purified one or someone who has reached Fanan Baka, just for the sake of this. So yes, you need the teacher, because the Sufi is not looking for himself. The Sufi is looking for Allah, and there's a very, very, very big difference in looking for yourself and looking for Allah. Self-realization. You don't need a teacher for self-realization. If it's yourself you look for, you want to know yourself. Okay, that's where you are right now. But you're not happy, right? You want something more than this current state, right? You feel pain, you feel miserable, you are stressed, we are all stressed, I'm stressed. We want something more than this current state. We want happiness, heaven, bliss. Okay, then we want something beyond the self, isn't it? So by definition, you cannot look for yourself if you want to be happy, but that requires you to be happy right now, because yourself is where you are right now. That's the mind. But you want something beyond the mind, isn't it? You want something beyond the mind. What's that? That's Allah you're looking for. So Allah is that deep light within you, that infinite light, infinite growth, infinite happiness. When you travel towards Allah, you travel towards infinity. There's no ending to the path. So if it's Allah you want something beyond the mind. That is something that your mind cannot understand. That is why you need that heart trait, which is iman, and iman, faith. Are you alladhina amanu, true faith? It's the most important. I would say the most important in this way is iman, is faith. And that's one of the most repeated words in the Quran al-Kareem. And also if you look at the previous prophet, Isa alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Jesus, Moses, faith, this drive from your heart that you believe in a good tomorrow, you take a leap of faith, you think that it's going to be alright, is tremendously important. When you grow that faith, you have tried different spiritual teachings, you come to that point where you say, okay, I have tried so many of these paths. I've tried this type of yoga, that type of yoga. I've tried Tai Chi, Qigong. I've tried this, I've tried that. I've tried, study different teachings of Rumi and so on. I don't really get what I want. I'm not really there. I'm not really feeling this. I'm ready now. I'm ready. I want to reach Allah. I'm ready. Okay, you're ready? You're ready to dedicate? You're ready to dedicate? That is when something like Tariqa Tijaniya, for example, one of the Sufi ways, might open up for you. Then you join, you take a pledge of allegiance, a shaykh, the conditions, which is mainly to not only follow the Tijani way, don't mix it with any other weird from any other path, because you need to focus on one path and one shaykh. Because you have tried the 15 different paths now. Now you're ready for only one, okay? And then to keep the good faith of the shaykh. So this is very important. We don't badmouth the shaykh. We don't blaspheme against the shaykh. That ruins the entire path. Because if we badmouth and blaspheme against, a holy person, it's like blaspheming against Allah Himself. We are in war then with Allah and how Allah has manifested in His will in physical form. So that is a type of kufr. So we have to be very careful on that. So anyway, you are ready, then you dedicate and you go that path, you follow that teacher until you reach Allah. And the mystical path is not the spiritual path, because the spiritual path is like this. It's like a triangle that increases like this. You add all the time. The mystical path is like this. It's like a pyramid. It's a reduction. You reduce, subtract until there's nothing. Ego death. You are nothing anymore. There's only Allah. So it's very different from this. You add, read this, try this, go to this therapy, that massage, that yoga school, versus this. You want to get rid of concept, get rid of, leave what you think you believe, leave this, just follow that one path until there's nothing anymore. There's only oneness, because Allah's nature is one, right? So when you keep on adding, you're not going to one. You need to do subtraction. This is the mystical path. This requires only one path, one shaykh. And those who are ready, inshallah, maybe you will be one of them who will be ready one day. Then it's going to happen. Because this way is hidden. It is mysterious. So the Greek word of mysticism is very accurate. The closest in English you can come to Sufism. Because the way is hidden. You don't know how it works until later. You have to have that leap of faith. That faith in your heart, because you have tried so many things. Now you want to reach Allah. Okay then. So then you could say it like Allah tests you. Allah tests you. You want to reach Allah. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready to follow this path? Kind of like this. So yes, you do need a shaykh. You do need initiation, and that shaykh has to have a unbroken link to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So then it is essentially the spirit of Prophet who teaches you, if it's the true guide. Without it, if you follow a shaykh that doesn't have a lineage to Prophet Muhammad, you're following a man and his ego. And that's never going to take you to anything else than that person's ego. So then you're following someone else's ego, and you will become like that person's ego. You're not going to reach Allah. So the shaykh therefore has to have reached fana. He has to be dead in Allah, fana fi Allah. This is the mystical path. The Sufi is the mystical path. Hopefully this is clarifying help. Assalamu alaikum.